your choice of 4 different flavors. This 28-ounce coffee cake will give you about 14 or 15 slices. It's normally $27.50. This show only, price goes up at the end of this show, not the end of the day, by $4.66. And we have some great flavors for you that some of them we haven't seen in a while. This is a 150-year-old recipe that a real grandma brought over from Eastern Europe. These are baked in Boston, fresh, the best of the best natural ingredients for you. And it will be made, that your cake is not even made yet. They bake them for you fresh and then send them to you. Look at that decadence. This one, clearly, if you can tell, is cinnamon carrot. This one is most limited, only 1,000 to go around at this one-time only price on this big food event day. I would definitely not wait on that one. Then we'll go through the flavors of each of these, but I have to tell you what we have available because we have the chocolate. The chocolate is taste tested and approved by Ted Williams, $1,300 in the chocolate. That's all we have at this today only price. We have a blueberry for you. Wait till I cut into that one and you see those fresh, plump blueberries. We have $1,300 there. And then here's where it all began, the cinnamon walnut, most popular, $1,500 remain. M84487 is your item number. Price goes up at the end of the show. Shipping to you for free. Marie-Louise Ludwig brings us the most decadent gourmet food, and this is a staple here at QVC. I'm so pleased that we have this today only price. Show only price. Welcome into the show.
Thank you. It is so great to be here, and it is so great to think about Boston. If you've ever had the opportunity to drive on the back streets where our bakery is, it smells fantastic. Like Hershey smells like chocolate. Boston smells like my grandma's coffee cake. And as you said, Terry, this is a great offer and will be baked fresh for you, featuring 4 of our favorites. And I'll tell you a little bit more about the Ted Williams story with that chocolate cake.
So this is the original. This is where it all started with the cinnamon walnut. Look at that swirl of cinnamon and fresh walnuts.
Well, you know what's really great about this? This is an heirloom recipe. This recipe is over 150 years old. And to this day, our founder, Bob, refuses to give in and go little on anything. Everything has to be exactly the same way it was. So how do we get it so moist without butter in the cake? What? No butter in that cake? He starts with pure cultured sour cream, which gets stirred into the batter.
That's why it's so moist.
To give each one of our cakes an additional pop, as any baker knows, you have to use pure Madagascar bourbon vanilla. It is the finest in the world. It is a baker's dream. And for our cinnamon walnut cake, where it all began, fresh, crunchy California Mariani walnuts. You have to have those California walnuts, not only generously sprinkled on the top, but also all the way through in our signature streusel and tons of cinnamon and sugar. So our cakes are baked 100 cakes at a time. That's all. They are baked in small batches. We have all of our bakers on deck because there's a lot of handwork involved as well. You can see all of the nuts that we have are layered on, that streusel is put on the top, finished off on the top with tons of toppings. Most especially one of our favorite is that cinnamon sugar, and in this case, the Ted Williams has those decadent pieces of dark chocolate. They are baked for about an hour. They are cooled, and then they are put in a freezer bag, which is designed exclusively to allow you, if you will allow me, to take this cake when you get it home. By the way, it arrives to you fresh. It will keep in your freezer for 365 days. So take what you want out of the wrapper, cut a few pieces if you want to, put it back in the wrapper and pop it back in the freezer. We are proud to say these are baked fresh, and the first time you put this in the freezer is the first time it's ever frozen.
Oh, so think about that on Easter morning, just to be able to have something so easy to lay out beautifully for breakfast, or just a nice little piece halfway through the day when you want a cup of coffee and you just want that treat. This is a show only price. Goes back up at the end of the show, which is in about 50 minutes. So here are your choices. 1,500 orders have already been placed. This is a big all-day food event where we're celebrating gathering together again. Cinnamon walnut has been most popular. That is where it all started. 1,000 remain, and this price goes up at the end of the show. Don't hesitate with a $5.71 easy pay. Cinnamon carrot, look at that, very popular. 700 remain of the cinnamon carrot. We're gonna hear all about this chocolate. Ted Williams approved, tested and approved. 900 remain in the chocolate. And then we also have that blueberry as well for you. 1,000 remain in the blueberry. Should we just hit right over to this chocolate? Because that's where I wanna go.
Yes. Well, Ted Williams, you know, we are in Boston, and Ted Williams was a Hall of Famer Boston Red Sox player, and he loved this cake. So what is it? It starts with a rich, decadent chocolate coffee cake batter, and then we have chocolate pieces all the way through it on the top, and then it's finished off with those California Mariani walnuts. So it's like a brownie meets a cookie meets a cake come together. So incredibly chocolatey. Really good.
I'm a chocolate lover, and those walnuts mixed in is so delicious. Oh, if you're a chocolate lover, you're right. It is a mix between a coffee cake, a cookie, and a brownie.
Brownie is everything come together. Chocolate bar, chocolate bits. Should we go to the cinnamon carrot? Because that's one of our newest flavors. We actually launched that last year. I kept asking Joanne from my grandma's, can we do a carrot cake? Because I love to bake carrot cakes. Look at this. It is loaded with fresh carrots and tons of a special kind of cinnamon. Boy, you get that nice burst of cinnamon, and those flavors together are really, really good. And then on the top, before it is baked, it is generously sprinkled with more cinnamon sugar, which when baked gets nice and caramelized. This one is so incredibly dense, Terry. When you take it out of the bag, it gets stuck all over the bottom of your fingers. I swear, it just does. It's so moist.
It's
and then
so incredibly moist. I mean, you can't get this fresh and this good unless you bake it yourself. And think about all the ingredients you would have to buy and all that time it would have to take. This comes to you baked just brand new and fresh for you that you can enjoy with your friends and family. Gather together and enjoy that time instead of baking. All right, and then the final choice is this beautiful blueberry.
Yes, and we need to say it's a New England blueberry because our founder Bob makes sure that we use those fresh, plump, juicy New England blueberries
look at that.
all the way through. You can see the piece that I have. Look at the piece that you have. Just a little hint of maple syrup in this to round it all out, but you can see that it almost looks like a smile, a signature streusel going all the way through. But just a ton of blueberries, and when they bake, they just burst open, and all that flavor gets intermingled with that delicious, heavy, dense grandma heirloom recipe coffee cake. Coffee cake is so different if you've never had it. And I grew up eating my grandmother's homemade coffee cake, so it's kind of a coincidence there. But it's not like that lightweight yellow cake.
No.
It is really moist and dense from that pure cultured sour cream, farm fresh eggs, that Madagascar bourbon vanilla come together, and then the fact that they bake them all on demand from scratch for you is just awesome.
Oh, and we have some ideas for you here. But I have to tell you what's happening because this is a one-time only price. We have sold half our quantity that we brought in for the whole entire day. This price goes up at the end of the show. So if we have any remaining after this show is over, they'll be $27.50 each. Right now, and for about the next 45 minutes, they're $22.84. We have the cinnamon walnut. That's been most popular. We started with over 1,600. We have 500 remaining in the cinnamon walnut. That probably will not last. That unique cinnamon carrot, 400 remain in the cinnamon carrot. Then we have the chocolate. 650 remain in the chocolate. Maybe if you have a chocolate lover in your family, you get that one and one other one. And then blueberry, 800 remain. Price goes up at the end of the show. It's going to ship out to you for free. And again, this is small batch baking with the freshest ingredients. It comes to you. Your cake isn't even baked yet. As soon as you place your order, then they bake it, send it right to you. And you said we can put it in it ships fresh, but you can put it in the freezer?
Yeah, you can put it in the freezer for 365 days. I highly recommend it because our cakes, we never know when we're going to have certain cakes. So if you see a favorite that you like here, most especially like the Ted Williams cake or the cinnamon carrot, we may be winding down on that New England blueberry, nab it, put it in your freezer. Keep that blueberry one. For example, 4th of July, how great would it be to put some fresh
Ooh, I
strawberries
love that
and whipped
idea.
cream on the top of that? This is so easy to dress up for something simple. Cutting slices of this for like your Easter brunch, gently grilling them and making like a coffee cake French toast
That's
is
what we
really
just
nice
did
on
here.
here.
I would
Look at
have
that.
never
It's
even thought
delicious.
about that. Our food stylists give me the best ideas all
They're
the
the
time.
best.
French
Yeah.
toast made out of coffee cake. Look at this beautiful parfait that we've made. Imagine that for Easter Day. Or just a beautiful buffet to have out. You're going to get about 15 slices out of each one of these. They're 28 ounces.
And you know, a lot of us are getting together at Easter time with our families. And surely when we get together for these big important holidays, we are creating memories and we're thinking about those things that we had in the past or the people that have passed and we've known and loved. I always say this is truly like a memory on a plate. Many of us remember our grandmothers and our great grandmothers who baked, and a lot of us don't have time to do it anymore,
Yeah.
or we don't have the recipes. Memory on a plate. Take your grandmother's cake plate, put this cake on that cake plate, put it out on your holiday table. And if somebody asks you, oh, where did you get this recipe? You just say, oh, it's my grandma's recipe. And,
It's
you know,
a
it
grandma's
is.
recipe.
Technically it is. But we're proud. We're really proud of that. And we love
Oh,
how, look how
yes.
beautiful that top is.
That
It's just
topping is, I
gorgeous.
just have to show you how beautiful these hand placed, in
Thank
this
you,
case, the
Carrie.
chocolate and the walnuts. I mean, this is a beautiful experience to send someone. This is QVC gourmet food at its best, and these are always incredibly popular. At the regular QVC price, which is $27.50, we're saving you $4.66 for this show only, and we don't have a ton to go around. In fact, the cinnamon walnut, we started with 1,600. Fewer than 200 remain. And remember, the price does go back up at the end of the show. Cinnamon carrot, we don't always see this one. Fewer than 200 remain. Then we have chocolate, 400 remain. And then the blueberry, 500 remain in the blueberry. About 1,500 remain out of all 4 choices out of this over 6,000 that we started with. And the price goes up in about 40 minutes. M84487. Thank you so much, Marie Louise. This is such a fun, let's gather together. We're getting back together and celebrating such a beautiful event that we're celebrating today.
And before I forget, and this is important, our cakes are kosher. We know a lot of our QVC family would like to know, and yes, they are.
Yep. Such a great gift to send to someone, too, if you can't be with them on that great holiday or any celebration. M84487, again, is your item number. Remember, the price goes up at the end of the day. Show.